Arsenal returned to the top of the Premier League standings after in the last match, Gabriel Jesus and his friends managed to beat Brightton with a score of 2-0. The Gunners coach, Michel Arteta, assessed that his team's performance was phenomenal when playing at the Emirates Stadium, having played a goalless draw in the first half. Gabriel Jesus and Hes managed to score goals to bring Arsenal to a 2-0 win during the 90 minutes of the match. Arsenal beat the visiting team's Brightton defence so hard that they had difficulty developing the game. This result was like retaliation against Brightton, which destroyed Arsenal's hopes of winning the Premier League this season. Then, when they lost 3-0 to the Goalless at the same place, an additional point made Arsenal return to the top of the standings with 39 points. This was because in the other match Liverpool were forced to play a goalless draw by Manchester United at Emirates Stadium and were forced to drop to second place. With a 38-point competition between the two top teams in the Premier League will be even more interesting because in the next match Liverpool will host Arsenal at Emirates Stadium. Both have quality players and their performance is on the rise. The duo, which will be presented on Sunday 24 December 2023, is predicted to be interesting. Whoever wins will have a great opportunity to climb the English Premier League standings and get closer to the Championship ladder. In this case, Arsenal, who have victory over Brightton, will be a big threat to Jurgen Klopp's troops, especially Hes, who was previously considered a failed purchase, is now starting to show brilliant performance by becoming key players for the Gunners. Arsenal manager Michel Arteta opened up about Hes' good performance in his team. He said that the key to Hes' good performance was in his improved self-confidence. According to Arteta, Hes' good performance was not only because he scored goals. He felt that the playmaker made a big contribution to there are many elements of the Gunners' game. In this match, especially Hes is determined to increase his goal tally in the next match against Liverpool. Apart from the Hes, Arsenal also has a number of flashy names such as Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard. To Declan Rice with his champion ambitions which were postponed last season. Arsenal are the favourites to get points even though they're playing at home. But what is interesting is that after their visit to Anfield this week, the 14-time FA Cup champions will meet Liverpool again in the third round of the FA Cup. To be precise, on January 7, 2024, this meeting is considered the Dini final because it brings together the two top Premier clubs in the league, which is in top form this time. Arsenal is more favoured because the match will be held at the Emirates Stadium. Victory will be a big capital for Arsenal to win the title which they last won 4 years ago. Not only in domestic competition, Arsenal's phenomenal performance has also taken them to the next level. The 2023-2024 Champions League round of 16 is Arsenal's first achievement after they last finished in the 2016-2017 season. Their last match was against Bayern Munich in the round of 16. At that time Arsenal lost against Bayern Munich with a fairly large aggregate of 102. Unfortunately, after the Gunners never appeared in the Champions League again, and now they have a big chance to qualify for the quarter-finals to meet Porto in the last 16 of the Champions League. Arsenal are quite favoured with the star squad they have. But the Gunners also cannot underestimate Porto because they represent Portugal. This is a subscription to Europe's elite competition. Looking at statistical records, Porto has advanced to the Champions League 23 times or only lost to Barcelona and Real Madrid. Porto has also won the Champions League twice, while Arsenal has never won at all. Therefore, Arsenal thinks Porto will be a strong opponent. The Gunners must prepare themselves as best as possible to fulfill their ambition to win the title this season. Arsenal are reportedly eyeing Sporting CP defender Gonzalo Inacio. The defender, who has a market value of $1 trillion, will strengthen their defense ahead of the key Champions League match against FC Porto in Chile, which has become the backbone of Sporting's defense for the last 3 years, has more than 140 appearances, and experience against FC Porto can be an added value in the Gunners' journey to the quarter-finals. Even though the Gunners have spent more than $1 trillion in the summer, financial constraints mean they have to consider selling several players such as Thomas Partey. Ramsdale and Mohamed El Neni. The funds raised from this sale will be a reinvestment to strengthen the team, according to a report from Portuguese newspaper Ebola. Arsenal have planned concrete steps to acquire the services of the talented young defender from Portugal Gonzalo Hinchillo. The 22-year-old defender has a release clause worth IDR 1 trillion and was previously linked with Liverpool's interest. Apart from being useful for competing in the Champions League, Hinchillo's arrival could also help Arsenal in competing for the Premier League title and FA Cup. Arsenal is currently competing fiercely for the Premier League title with Liverpool, Aston Villa and